G'day guys, how's it going? I'm Aza Whitnall and this is AZAWorld Sport, and today England have finally got their first win of Euro 2016 coming in week 2 of the games where they have beaten Wales 2-1 thanks to a last minute Daniel Sturridge goal. Now, up until that last minute, it looked like it was going to be quite a frustrating game for England. They had been playing well the entire game. They were very dominant over the Welsh, but Wales, to be fair to them, battled up until the final whistle. They just didn't quite have enough in them to get the draw or the win that they obviously would have wanted. However, it's not the worst situation for them. They can still very much qualify. Who knows? They could even still finish top of the group, depending on what England's result is against Slovakia, and of course what their own result is against Wales. But in the first half, first things first, the atmosphere for the entire stadium was just absolutely phenomenal. It felt like a true Battle of Britain in terms of the atmosphere, and it was great to see the fans, first of all, behaving themselves for once, but the chants and the passion that was in the stands was phenomenal. But the first half, it was a bit frustrating for England, to say the least. They were playing well. It was a bit more even in the first half as well, but they squandered some big chances. Roy decided to go with the same team that drew with Russia, which I straight away felt was a negative. I think most England fans did. That's just going by what was on social media. And I think that was proven by that opportunity that Raheem Sterling had early on in the first half. To sky over from 7 yards out like that when you're worth £50 million just simply isn't good enough. And it is a real shame because he is a promising talent, but he really does need to work on that final product. Harry Kane, again, unfortunately, it wasn't his best game. Maybe just where he hasn't had any breaks in the last few years for England, and Tottenham could be getting to him a little bit. So I think it'd be good for him to have maybe a rest in the next game, because I do think England will go through, and that way we could kind of save him for the kind of last 16 or the quarterfinals. Obviously, keep my fingers crossed. We should get through, I'm saying. First half was a bit frustrating, just because also at times England seemed to overplay, and they didn't necessarily need to overplay. They just needed to be a bit more direct, but they were lacking something. And you've got to give Roy Hodgson credit, because if it wasn't for him and the substitutions that he made, I don't actually think England would have won this. Now, going in at half-time, obviously, anyone who watched the game saw what happened. You've got to give credit to Gareth Bale. To be that far out and take it on against Joe Hart, that free kick. He struck it very, very well, but Joe Hart will not want to see that goal back again. But I've got to be honest, I think Wales are actually good for their lead at half-time. I thought, like I said, even though England had played well, I thought Wales had played just as well in terms of the battling spirit, but England hadn't really created much aside from that Raheem Sterling chance. It was good to see Rooney on corners instead of Harry Kane, and I thought there was a straight difference in the delivery of those corners as well. I think they were a lot more direct, and England needed to do a bit better off of some of them as well. But for me, Wales were good for their lead at half-time, and I think everyone was a little bit nervous that this could be another tournament that wasn't going to go very well for England. If they had lost today, it would have been their 5th tournament defeat in a row. And that's not very good at all for a country that should be as good as England and for the players that they have. But second half, fantastic changes at half-time by Roy Hodgson, bringing on Jamie Vardy and Daniel Sturridge for Raheem Sterling and Harry Kane, and an instant impact. Jamie Vardy, what a story this is, that Vardy has continued his goal-scoring prowess from Leicester into England. I think that's 4 goals with 5 shots in an England shirt now for Jamie Vardy. And you just knew as soon as he came on that was going to happen. And it's going to be really exciting to see how his career over the next couple of years is going to go, because I see really big things for him over the coming years for England. With Daniel Sturridge, up until that last-minute goal, again, he'd been playing absolutely fantastic. I thought there were times where he was, again, hanging on to the ball way too much. But, he sorted that out in the last minute. We can't really have too much of a dig at him for the way that he played, because at the end of the day, if it wasn't for him, we wouldn't have the points. And it was a very well-taken goal in the final minute, somehow squeezing through all of those players in what was a real bundle in the box. But, hey, it ended up in the back of the net, and that's all that really matters from an England perspective. And the final change that I really want to talk about is bringing on Marcus Rashford, because he looks a talent. He may not have scored, but just his touches and the way that he seemed, the stage or the big stage that he was on really didn't seem to get to him whatsoever. So, again, we have another very exciting young player in Marcus Rashford, not just for England, but also Manchester United fans. You've got to be excited about him as well next season. And hopefully Jose can really, manage him well next season as well. But yeah, fantastic result for England and fantastic performance. England did deserve their win, and hopefully Euro 2016 starts here from an England perspective. Let's keep our fingers crossed, but bring on Slovakia. I'm Aza Whitnall. Remember, for all things wildlife, adventure and sport, keep it here on AZAWorld. Let me know your thoughts on England's performance against Wales in your comments below. If I may have missed anything, if there's any players that you think stood out that I may have missed, any players that you think I've been overhyping, please let me know. But yeah, until next time, I will see you soon. And come on, England!